What's up, everybody, and welcome to the last Swolecast before the regular season starts. Feels pretty good to say that. Or I guess there might be another Swolecast before the regular season. I don't know when the next Swolecast will be, but I think this is the last Swolecast before the season starts. So, good start. Pete, how you doing over there?
Good start, Pete.
Yep.
He's on mute.
I put myself in a little mute time out there for being a couple minutes late. But now I'm able to fire off my takes. Doing great today, guys. I'm not outdoors with the umbrella, so feeling good.
Can we see the barn door? The sliding door?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to I'll send you a photo.
Okay, perfect.
I'm still working on the soundproofing element. Barn doors, some cracks in there, so it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Barn door is like that's a trendy thing.
It does feel pretty Nashvilleian to me. I feel like everyone in Nashville has barn doors.
Definitely. And people do it instead of like curtains even. And I mean, barn doors are it's definitely a Nashvilleian type thing. The Chip and Joanna type thing. You got some shiplap you're going to do over there, Pete?
Some what?
Shiplap?
Kitchen being I don't know the name of that show, but Kitchen being a fan of those two people, I wish
I've never watched the show.
There's no way
life.
That's true. There's no way
promise.
that's true.
It's just like a known thing.
Fixer uppers.
Kitchen's totally gone to Mongolia before.
Yeah, no doubt.
What's Is it Magnolia?
Right.
You say Mongolia?
Kitchen, you seem to know a lot about it, buddy.
Magnolia.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I've never seen the show before, but my wife, she has said that she wants to go to wherever this place is in Texas because
yes, Magnolia. That is the place.
All right.
It's in Waco.
Dan, you seem to know a lot about it too.
Well, we went down there.
So you've been there?
No, my wife wanted to go to one of the restaurants. We were just driving through down to San Antonio. My wife wanted to go to one of the restaurants. It was like a Tuesday late morning, and it was like an hour and a half away. So we're like, "Nah, we're good."
You're such a wife guy, Tuttle.
Yeah,
Tuttle is actually a wife guy, though. Tuttle is a wife guy. No, like that's real.
Thank you, David.
Like he texts his wife even though they're in the same house. Like they text just to like communicate. Like Tuttle's a wife guy, dude.
No, see, Davis, what you're describing is just like
communication.
A good, like just normal.
Just guys, I'm in my office. I don't want to be bothered. I got fantasy football trades to propose. I don't need to be texting.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wife guy means that not only do you do it, but you let everybody else know that you do it as well.
So. That's accurate.
Okay.
Wait, so you have to talk about sex a lot?
No,
that's the thing. That's not even a part of being a wife guy.
Okay. Tuttle, you got to sign up for Davis's How to Be a Wife Guy course.
Is it at Davis Matt? Can I find it at davismatic.com?
Yeah,
you can.
It's part of his branding strategy.
Which is also takecast.com. You can check it out there.
Cool. All right. Speaking of Davis, I want to thank Davis for basically complicating my life earlier this week. Davis,
thank you. How'd I do that?
Couldn't you have ended that sentence before this week?
Yeah, probably just complicating my life in general. We have said on this show, Davis has said on the show, live on the show, I need to fill out my work log. Like, I thought it was like a bit. I thought it was a bit and not legit. And it wasn't, because I get a message on Monday, and it was, "Hey, Davis says you're his supervisor." And I'm like, whoa.
Should I just have sent it to Tuttle? Should I be like, "Tuttle's my supervisor"?
No, like part of the deal, part of the FIRG deal was that I was not going to be Davis's supervisor anymore. That's Dan. That's DB. But the other part is that she was like, we've got invoices from Q2 and Q3 unfilled.
It was not, I told you it was not a bit. I legit forgot to fill my invoice out all year.
So not only that, we had to have our whole like supervisor channel, we had to have a whole meeting about this on how to prevent like this one-off from happening again.
This is legit too, for sure.
This is legit.
You should be laughing this hard, David.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So people are like, how can we stop this? And like, so people are like, well, maybe the managers can take an additional step that more than what we already do and ensure that everybody under them can be working. And my thing was, let's just not pay these guys. Please. But I guess that's against the law.
Wait, Davis, do you not get the monthly email reminders?
I don't. I got removed from the list. Okay. For whatever reason, I'm not on the monthly reminder list.
Dude, let me tell you though, the full-time employees are terrible at filling out the spreadsheet too. So this isn't just a Davis thing.
Well, no, it is a Davis thing because like it has to do with him getting paid. So it's not like a distribution of like where you work, but like, you know, Pete said it best. Like this is just a weird millennial thing. Pete, you're saying because like it has nothing to do. Like it's like a new level of lazy.
Even lazy people normally find ways to get paid. You know, like that's the one thing that trumps laziness is just getting those dollars in your bank account. And Davis is just like, nah.
Yeah, this is Davis is too rich.
It's literally a 5-second thing to do. So Davis, I want to say, just say thank you. How are you
paying for all of those best ball drafts if you're not collecting these Swolecast checks?
You know, things are not uncomfortable over at Casa de Matic.
He says as he stretches out in his big mansion over there.
And then later today in our Slack chat, we'll get a whole rant about how he's poor to Makisupa.
Relatively poor. Compared to Wiggins, I am poor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, most people are.
Speaking of Davis and Casa de Matic, I want to just mention this tweet from yesterday morning. Investing in Rojo in March and April has been about as profitable as going long the S&P 500 in March and April.
Pretty good correlation because everything is dying this morning as well. Not only did Rojo die, but the S&P 500 is dying this morning as well.
So whenever
Arian said Rojo is his guy though, and I believe him. I believe him.
Pete, what was your reaction when you saw the Rojo to the
He's got to be more pissed than I am.
I was so angry because it was a double whammy of getting kicked in the dick, having drafted Ronald Jones on a bunch of teams, and then all of the Leonard Fournette truthers getting like one of the top 2 possible landing spots for Fournette. Just the ultimate suck out there, and then them re-victory lapping. It was a brutal day.
Okay, this was obvious though, right? Like when everybody jumped on Twitter and took the Fournette got cut victory laps, like this was inevitable. This was going to happen.
It was inevitable he was going to sign. I didn't think it was inevitable he'd go to the Chiefs.
It was like a karma for all the victory laps that it was.
Yeah, no, it was like Chiefs or Patriots or Washington. But yeah, I didn't see the whole bucket. They already signed McCoy. They drafted a third-round running back.
And they said, Rojo. By the way, they said they're not cutting McCoy, so these are the Buccaneers' options. They keep 5 running backs, 4 of whom do not play special teams. They cut their 3rd-round pick, which is an awful look because he was on the COVID list, right? So it's basically just being like, look, dude, sorry, COVID cut your career short, even though it's not really your fault. Or they can cut their special teams captain, which is Dare, or they just lied about not cutting McCoy, or I guess they can cut Rojo, which I think would actually be the most hilarious outcome at this point.
We cannot believe Arians. There's no way they can keep McCoy. He has no role on this team. There's no room for McCoy. He's just paying him a little lip service, and once things cool over in 2 or 3 days, they'll kind of show him the door.
I mean, yeah. And then it opens. We already had Fournette being cut. Like this news, like we haven't even been on since Fournette was cut. Like that in itself is like was a huge thing. And it was great because, you know, there was a few like Fournette truthers out there, but the majority of people were against Fournette this season. And so,
see, that's not true. For a guy to have a third-round average draft position, you cannot take the position that everyone hated Leonard Fournette. It's just
I'm
not
talking
true.
about the experts, though.
Yeah, everyone on DFS Twitter.
No, well, this to Davis's point, this was a dynamic that happened. So Silva was leading the anti-Fournette thing, and we all know Silva casts a long shadow over how people are interpreting players. So Silva was beating it down. The high stakes grinders were drafting Leonard Fournette in the third round, just all summer, like without fail. So like then the DFS guys were like, oh, everyone taking a victory lap. It's like, no, the guys who were putting their money where their mouth is were drafting Leonard Fournette with premium picks. And they were fighting back against everyone victory lapping when no, that's actually where he was going.
So it was Fantasy Mansion was the only expert I saw that was like actively touting Fournette in the third. Other than that,
Brad Evans from fadethenoise.com, also a big Leonard Fournette guy.
Nobody's better at plugging other sites than Davis on this show.
I will say I thought the victory lap was warranted. I thought it was fine. I thought the original Silva Levitan victory lap was fine.
And they deserve they got dunked on, and then they got to deserve to come back and redunk with the landing spot. But this story isn't over yet. It's not.
The thing
over.
is, he's still not going to pay off a third round tag, probably.
Totally.
After,
I got bullied into projecting him way higher than I wanted to by all the angry people on Twitter. I gave him like 50% of the backfield in Tampa Bay, which seems way too high to me, but I'm like too scared to project him lower than that right now.
I will say my original tweet that Davis disagreed with, I think was pretty spot on, that if you were thumping the short Fournette bandwagon, then you basically just wanted him in a logjam in Jacksonville as opposed to cut, because it just opened up the back door for a better situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that he could have seen way more volume if he stayed in Jacksonville. But I guess it just all has to do with if, do we trust Arians that Rojo's still going to start out the season and they're going to work Fournette in, or do they just come right out of the gate and Fournette is the bell cow? That's what I don't know.
And I would also like to say, like, congrats to Silva. After being bumped on the Swolecast for Pete, he had, the rough Rex Burkhead the thing from a few years ago. He deserved this. He was due for a hot take coming to fruition. So congrats to him. Do you think we can get him on the show this year?
He's tough to get on shows, man.
You think he's bitter?
I say he's tough to get on shows. I did do a show with him about less than 12 hours ago. I got to show you guys this clip. So we were going to do a draft. I had told him it was an 18 round, one of these slim drafts that go really fast. I accidentally registered us for a 28 round draft. And when I told him that, his face went blank and he didn't smile or say anything for just 3 full minutes until I gave him permission to leave whenever he wanted to. So I probably shouldn't be the one to ask him to come on the Swolecast, but might need to be one of you guys.
All right. I'll do it.
There's no chance.
I have fed him chocolate cake before with my fork, my own chocolate cake. All right, let's get on to other news and notes. Tyrod Taylor in Harditz has been kind of banging this drum for a little bit. I've been kind of half in, half out. If he's there, great. If not, don't worry about it. But do you think that he's not just going to be the week 1 starter, but the starter for the whole entire season, Davis?
No, I don't think that, because at some point the Chargers will be eliminated from playoff contention, and it's just what we see happen with rookie quarterbacks every year. Is the starter plays until the team just loses a bunch, right? And if the Chargers are 2-7, it's going to be Justin Herbert's season.
Yeah.
Even if he does, how productive is he going to be?
Herbert or Tyrod?
Tyrod.
I think the thing that's so interesting about... Okay, Kitchen, go ahead, bud.
No, you go ahead, Davis.
Well, just like the stuff that we know is that running quarterbacks really just do not throw to running backs all that often. So that Austin Eckler, Tyrod Taylor dynamic, I'm very curious to see what happens. I mean, I really like Eckler as a guy I draft a lot. So because it's actually low T that causes me to draft Eckler because I'm too scared to go without those running backs in the first 2 rounds. So I'm very interested to see how they progress there.
Pete?
Yeah, I might have some biases here based on how I've been drafting these guys in best ball, because I've convinced myself that Tua will be the starter in the playoff weeks, and I've been drafting Tua as my third quarterback in a lot of drafts. However, I've also been drafting Tyrod as my third quarterback in a lot of drafts, working under the assumption that Herbert will be a redshirt. So I definitely agree with Davis. I could be wrong on that if they get out of playoff contention, but all the reports make it seem like Herbert's not even close to playing.
Yeah, I agree with that take for sure.
So the other part of this is just drafting guys. Obviously, Haskins was going to be the starter, but officially I'm going to start yesterday. I feel like I've messed up big time in all the best ball drafts I've done by not taking QB3. And the reason I say that is because you can get QB3 in the underdog and DraftKings, like you can get them in like in the 17th and 18th rounds, where at least they're going to give you something, some sort of chance. And instead, I've been drafting these wide receiver 3s that I thought might have like a chance, like for these stacks. And now yesterday we got the news that Mohamed Sanu is cut. So all those Patriots stacks that I had him there, I mean, just a waste of a pick.
Why are you taking Mohamed Sanu over Andy Isabella? Like just break down the Soccer Dave philosophy on Mohamed Sanu over Andy Isabella.
It's a stack thing. It's a GPP thing. Like, I don't want to get into next level game theory with you.
What did Davis call it last week? Oh man,
optionality.
Yeah,
that's Pete's word.
I think Kitchen. I think actually the issue you were probably running into is it's hard to get a third quarterback when you used an 8th round pick on Keyshawn Vaughn.
That was definitely an issue, but also this Van Jefferson news. I finally got my first like share of Van Jefferson, as this was right before the news came out that he might be the wide receiver 3. Davis, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's tough because Van Jefferson is about as slow as a tight end, so I actually think he really is going to impact Gerald Everett, which is a guy that I've been targeting in a lot of backdoor Goff stacks, so that's not great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where the Josh Reynolds.
It does seem like he beat out Josh Reynolds. You know, more power to him. Seems like a lot of people are profiting off of taking Van Jefferson in like the 4th round of their rookie draft. So good for them.
All right. So Pete, should people be targeting QB3 going forward?
Well, my kind of rule of thumb is if I get a Dak or Kyler or Watson, I'll probably just grab 2. Try to get an early tier and a mid tier. If I miss out on that, I'm almost always grabbing 3 because Derek Carr, Tyrod, and Tua are all so cheap, and they all have the 3 best playoff schedules. The Raiders have 3 home dome games against bad defenses in the fantasy playoffs. So I like grabbing Carr as a 3rd QB as well.
Wow. FF Pete C with the playoff schedule analysis, man. Peter, he doesn't want to go public with this, but dude, he is a grinder. Pete has been grinding.
He's a big time grinder.
I actually looked up the Patriots schedule for the first time this season yesterday, just so I could get my Sanu game stack tweet off. Like that's the only reason why I looked off is for
Kitchen being in on Mohamed Sanu. It just, that's really poetic. Like that's really good.
It wasn't just Sanu. Like it wasn't just Sanu. It was I never drafted Sanu if I did not draft Cam. The problem is I've got a whole lot of Cam, which hopefully won't be a problem. But I'm just feeling really blessed that my highest investment player this year did not have LaShawn McCoy signed to completely ruin their value. Like literally like 6 months of best ball drafts for me went down the drain 5 days before the season started last year. And that hasn't happened to me. And like, I can't even tell you the insane relief I feel that has not happened to me.
Dave, how do you feel about the guys that are most synonymous with your brand are obviously the Titans, your guys, Keyshawn Vaughn and Mohamed Sanu. Those are kind of your guys.
No, I brought Sanu to light. Like, I'm bringing that to light myself. I could have let that die in the dark, but I want to publicly say, people like, it's like the Instagram thing. People want to see the real. They just don't want to see all my great picks. Obviously, when the Millie a couple weeks ago, like I need to also get out the wrong picks too. It's not just the screenshot the big wins. You also have
screenshot the Sanu and Keyshawn Vaughn teams. That's what I want to see.
I probably do have some teams.
I post pretty much all my teams except for ones where I get auto picked.
Davis is doing the drafters. Pick everybody, draft everything, post every team so that it covers all bases.
If I could just have more $5.50 drafters screenshots from Davis, my life would be complete.
I'm so close to being done with my deposit bonus, dude. So close.
Every stack too, just every stack possible.
Oh, and Davis putting it out there. It's great. It reminds me of like people playing on like some of these rando DFS sites, and
like the fantasy up screenshots.
Oh god,
yeah, like people like having no clue what the pricing or anything else is there. But
well, let me tell you this: the drafters drafts are about 175% easier than the underdog drafts. I mean, those underdog drafts are unbelievably tough.
They are, but I still think DK is softer than even drafters.
Oh. Yeah, because and this is tilting because you cannot do any sort of desktop stuff. It has to be done on the app. And I'm not an app guy. I can't make a bunch of teams. The only way I make multiple teams, this is a plug to Derek, our app guy, is Lineup HQ, because like that is a legit way to make a bunch of like DFS teams. But as far as like anything else that requires any sort of work on the app, I would just rather use the desktop.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at kind of how the mobile offerings and kind of just the overall aesthetics and user interfaces, like if I were to invest in what I probably would pick underdog just based on kind of what they've done.
Hey, by the way, Dave, if you want to bail your old buddy Dan Wahoo out and restart fantasyup.com, you can buy the domain for $15,000.
Oh, well.
Dan Wahoo, bro. What's Dan Wahoo up to these days, Kitch?
I don't know. We got way more stuff to talk about than Wahoo.
Good friend, Dan Wahoo.
I like going very inside baseball.
I don't even know this,
to be honest. Oh, exactly. Buddy. He played on his own site.
Stop. We got to move on. Stop. This is a part to Pete's point before my segue got blocked, was that like I will eventually have some sort of rankings in the app, and then like just 4 or 5 big pieces of news breaks, and I'm like, I can't go back and like reshuffle everything. So it's tough. It's tough to do, which leads me to the contract tracing that we're doing. We've got Kamara, we've got Joe Mixon, the Joe Mixon saga. We got Dalvin Cook. Obviously, we have guys that have their contracts, the top 3 running backs, as far as Zeke and C-Mac and Derrick Henry. Like they've got their payday basically. So where are you now on these contracts for these first round guys, Davis?
Can I just ask a quick question? Was contract tracing like a coronavirus pun, or did you mean to say contract tracking?
No, tracing.
Okay. All right. Just making sure that was it's cute.
I said he was so excited about it in our Slack chat.
Yeah. In the chat, if you would have paid attention, I said that's just a next level pun. Like
I completely missed this. I missed it.
Okay. But yeah, and if I want to get it out there in case someone else uses it, and I could be like, "Well, I had it first."
I think this is going to catch on almost as much as your Alpha RB.
All right. I did a couple of days ago, first round. I had the 10th pick, and I got Kamara and then Mixon coming back. Where are you drafting Kamara and Mixon, if at all, Davis?
Well, Mixon just got his contract.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but does that mean he's first round for you, though?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a main event tonight, and we are picking at 10, and we have all decided that we are taking Mixon at 10 if he is there.
Who's this team, Davis?
This is our Daily Roto subs crew. We have 4,000 in the account from last year because we won our league.
This is the one where you crowdsource all the picks, right?
Yeah, this is the one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we won our individual league last year, so we just rolled it over into 2 entries into the main event this year. And picking at 10, let me tell you, it's a clusterfuck. It's not great. It's really the worst. I I did.
That. Well, Davis, we're gonna have to dock your pay. We have to pay you, but we can't dock it as far as like. You. Yeah, we got to fine you for that. So, good thing we've got Griffin, the new Swolecast guy, to bleep that out. As far as the like Mixon and Sanders, because you were really high on Sanders, like first round guy, he's my guy, that sort of thing. Do you have Mixon above Sanders?
No, I still prefer Sanders. The thing is though, if you look at ADP over the last week, you actually can get Sanders at the first couple picks of the second round. Every once in a while, it really depends on your draft. For example, tonight I am drafting with the RotoViz boys at 12, Dave Cabin and Mike Beers. So they're going to start wide receiver. So we feel pretty confident in being able to get a tight end or a running back that we feel decent about coming on the way back. So we would probably go Mixon ahead of Sanders in this case.
I'm not touching Mixon. I haven't drafted him at all. No. I don't think Mixon is going to catch a ton of passes like everyone just assumes.
All right. What about Kamara?
Kamara is a tricky one for me. If Michael Thomas is on the board, I'm still taking Michael Thomas over him, but I will take Kamara if he slides, and I'll take him before Devontae Adams sometimes.
Do we have any clarification on the Miles Sanders injury, or is it still?
He's been doing shadow work.
They said he was week to week, and then they changed it to day to day, so that seemed relatively promising.
I would like to say just shout out you guys, because ever since we had our conversation last week, I've taken a bunch of Boston Scott.
That's the boy. Who was the kitchen arguing for over Boston Scott?
Pollard or Madison?
It was Madison. Yeah, Madison is the fake value there for sure.
Yeah, I love Pollard. I mean, Pollard is
but Madison is the fake value.
Pollard, my highest drafted guy, second highest.
Keyshawn
Vaughn. Let's see. Let's see.
Even
who
though
my
I haven't drafted him,
is.
I haven't drafted Keyshawn in probably the last, I don't know, however long. I got him in almost every single draft where he is still my second highest guy in the
Pete, what's your Visca percentage?
Yeah, Kirk is my highest, then Visca, but Dave, Keyshawn Vaughn's in my top 5 too, but they're just all in the 13th round.
I mean, I keep on drafting him as he drops, like thinking this is going to be just insane value.
You got a dollar cost average out.
Yeah. The news from yesterday just kind of sealed the deal. It's like, oh, okay, maybe stuff will happen. Pete, I want to ask you though, just since we're clarifying things, since we're admitting stuff that we were wrong about. The Derrick Henry stuff. Do you regret that at all right now?
Regret what?
Like not calling him one of like the alpha RBs, the guy that you want to draft.
Well, last night on a stream with Silva, unlike Davis, who just caves and takes Derrick Henry, I looked him in the eye. Actually, he was off stream. He wasn't there yet. And I took Michael Thomas over Derrick Henry. So
here's the thing. I was not in the draft room when Silva was advocating for the big dog, so I literally couldn't.
Davis, you weren't changing that opinion.
Well, if Rich had been, because Rich and I were both team no Henry, but we were the more agreeable drafters, unfortunately.
Wait. I think I listened to this. Actually, I think I listened to your podcast this morning with that draft. There was no dissent from you, if I recall.
No, me and Rich wanted Sanders.
But Davis caved like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, it was. There was like no dissent about it.
In Davis's defense,
all right, Henry.
When Silva came back to our draft last night and saw that I had taken Michael Thomas over Derrick Henry, he was visibly pissed, like very pissed off. Things were really kind of touch and go there through about 10 rounds, and then he loosened up.
I mean, you don't have any sort of like regrets about not having any Derrick Henry shares.
No, But it's less about Derrick Henry, and it's just that entire cohort. I am not going to clutch my rosary beads and take leap of faith that these guys are going to catch passes miraculously after having never done it. I don't have those rosary beads by me, Dave.
All right. Well, legit or bit? It's time to play legit or bit, and we've already talked about some of the legit or bit players. But I want to start with a clip that someone sent us, and it's a guy basically going before the Nebraska Lincoln City Council to rename boneless. To rename boneless chicken wings because they're not like chicken wings. Did y'all see this clip?
No.
Okay. Well, Josh McAtee sent it to us, and he wants to know legit or bit. So, legit or bit, people are upset that we call them boneless wings when they're not wings. And should they be changed? Davis.
Really can't bring myself to care. I'm sorry. This is stupid.
Okay.
It's really dumb, Kitchen. Like this is like a BuzzFeed like click generator.
What? I mean, it's kind of our thing. It's our thing, legit or bit.
No, our thing is talking about things that happened in DFS 6 years ago that only we remember.
Tell me about this Wahoo guy.
It's a good story.
It's honestly good. It's way more entertaining than Kitchen talking about a viral video from 36 hours ago. Like, much better.
So, Dan Wahoo.
He's basically this is
Davis. Just
tell it, Davis. Just tell it.
Okay,
Kitchen is doing like the Phillip Rivers gif on the sideline where he's like,
yeah, just like you can't like just say just an answer. Instead, Davis, did you come with like Green Bay tight ends as something as like a note for the show?
Yeah, Robert Tonyan, baby. TE1
that's
says
dumb. We've already covered that. That is dumb right there, and I skipped it.
What about when Robert Tonyan finishes tight end 11?
Yeah. All right. Let's just skip that segment. We'll go to legit or bit for these backup running backs in Jacksonville. Legit or bit? You want to take either Armstead or Divine Zigbo before, let's just say, the 13th round, Davis.
No, I don't. I'm gonna leave these guys for someone else because I think Thompson is the guy who scores the most PPR points, and James Robinson actually seems like the guy to me that would have the most 3-down ability.
James Robinson is this year's Darwin Thompson.
No, he does. No.
Well,
Darwin Thompson was going in the 7th round of high stakes drafts.
People being like people being like next level, like thinking something's got you can't make fetch happen. Peter, legit or bit?
It's a total bit. I've seen like someone draft a Zigbo in the 16th or 17th. I don't mind that at all, but I've seen Armstead go in the 7th or 8th round. That's absurd.
Total.
I mean, we drafted Armstead on our $5 winning team against these guys.
Oh, do you have that team? Do you have that team?
No, but it's awesome.
It was awesome.
You had to add the 13th round caveat, which is right. Yeah, if you draft him before or earlier than that, you're
okay.
You're a bit.
Well, what about legit or bit? Drafting any Patriots running back is a just extreme dangerous thing to do in drafts right now.
They're all cheap now. No, legit. They're all cheap.
Harris is not cheap.
Also, did you hear the news about Harris? He's doubtful for week 1 now.
His hand.
Yeah. So
he's got Davis. He's got Davis.
He's got a brace on his hand, bro.
So basically, James White's just going to be the guy that like nobody drafts. That's going to
smash. Yeah. But I don't like Lamar Miller, Rex Burkhead, and Sony Michel. Like, good luck figuring out who's going to get it of those 3.
Yeah. These Cam, James White, Sanu stacks I have are just going to go. No, I mean, it's got to have Cam, James White, and then either Harry or Edelman. I've got so much Patriots. I don't know about N'Keal Harry, though. It's like whatever you want to believe, just choose the the tout that either likes him or doesn't like him this season, and they're going to give you a different practice report. What are boots on the ground?
I've been grinding the Patriots practice reports pretty hard, to be honest.
To me, the funny thing about like the blowback on guys like that is it's already baked into his ADP. You know, like he's going in the 13th, 14th round. So I don't get like if he was going in the 8th and people wanted to have like these strong takes, but it's like, no, everyone's drafting accordingly that there's a lot of risk there. But I think he's one of the last kind of viable upside wide receivers in underdog if you're not hammering wide receiver early.
All right. What about Josh Gordon? Legit or bit? Drafting him?
Bit.
At all?
Bit.
Yeah, bit. At all.
You wouldn't throw an 18th round best ball flyer on him?
Do you remember when all the teams were
Russ
ruined
only
last year? Because of Josh Gordon, all the early drafted teams that didn't have Gordon.
No, I agree with you, Davis. It would be a Russ only team because I've looked for Dorsett there back before all of this because it's hard to get that second guy with Russ because you're rarely getting DK, Lockett, and him, and then it just depends if you like Disley or not.
I would say it goes back to our 2 QB or 3 QB thing because he would be the last receiver for me, even if I didn't have a Russell team. So like if I didn't take 3 QBs, he would be like replacing the Josh Reynolds or Van Jefferson of those guys.
Does he have upside though? Even we saw
he's got like a game or two in him. Like that he could just go off.
I saw Clay tweet out his stats from last season: 39% of snaps, 45% of routes, 7% of targets, which is 2 per game, 12% of air yards.
To Tuttle's point, he probably is like a weird handcuff play on Metcalf. Like if Metcalf were to get injured, then Gordon could probably have some juice.
There you go. All right. Let's move on to the hashtag Swole goals. This is where we have goals that we have for guys that we have a lot of interest in, or maybe even goals, like negative goals, since this is a gathering of negativity. By the way, Davis, shout out to you for just hating on the Cold Takes Exposed, but yet just going and dancing on Jacob Rickroad's grave about the Leonard Fournette stuff.
Well, he's stupid and he deserves it.
The best part is that you were completely serious with that Old Takes Exposed guy about a gathering of negativity.
He came on the podcast. We hashed it out.
And then you go and just dance on graves of people that drafted guys that you don't like.
One of the reasons
Davis Cold Takes Exposed for last season. What was it?
I can't even.
Oh, it was I remember what it was. It was when Mahomes was a rookie and the Chiefs had just come off the best deep passing year since PFF started recording it. And I said, if you know for sure that Mahomes is better at this, then you're lying.
Oh yeah, Mahomes versus Alex.
Davis got so offended, and then he turns out and just dances on graves. What a gathering of negativity. All right, back to the Swole goals. You can make it negative if you want, Davis. I know it's your thing. But the first Swole goal that we have is goals that you have for players for this season. So, Pete, I'll let you start out.
I have a goal for Laviska Shenault to finish the season as a top 24 wide receiver in PPR formats. And I think it's an attainable goal, and I think he's going to do it.
What is ADP right now? We're like around 150 or so?
It sounds about right. Yeah, he's been going late 12.
He jumps around every day, basically.
You like if he goes before the 12th, you know that someone like they've been listening to some of the LaVisca truthers.
They've been listening to the drum beat. You missed the chance for a good joke there, Kitch.
Have we asked? Are you wearing a gator right now, Dave?
Of course.
What is it? Any reason why?
He stays strapped, dude.
There's the coronavirus stuff. Like I don't know if you know, Kirk Cousins light over there. But I like to, like, if something happened, like, just real quick.
Yeah. I mean, before the show, Dave asked me where was my gator, and I just kind of looked around and said, if I die, I die in here.
If I die, I die. That was my motto going into the Planet Fitness every day. So
can you walk us through that selfie you took the other day?
You look
like me looking around.
It looked like an abandoned Planet Fitness.
Well, that's because not a lot of people are there. They've got a max capacity of 150.
150
I saw zero.
That's a lot.
I mean, I go at like 12:30 or 1. But when you saw that selfie, Pete, what did you think? Like, honestly, like, what did you think?
I was like, this is just sad.
Like, honestly,
that kid's still posting gym selfies.
I have a question. Have any of you guys gotten the coronavirus test yet?
No.
I went and got one on Monday because I had just gotten back from going to the lake with some of my buddies from college. We all got
Were you
a lake
socially
house.
distanced? Were you socially distanced from them?
No, it was just 6 of us, and we were there in the lake house, and we all got the COVID test when we got back, and we're all good to go. But I did.
Which one was it? What was the test like?
So I did both. I did the quick saliva test because I think they're trying to compare the saliva test to the results of the nasal swab. So I got both done.
You did both. The 2 COVID test play. The double COVID test play. All right, Davis, what is a goal for a player that you like?
For McCole Hardman to outplay Sammy Watkins and score 10 touchdowns in 2020.
Very nice.
I think that's also a very attainable and realistic goal as well, by the way.
From your lips to God's ears, Davis.
I
like him better in best ball, though.
So few shares of Miko. Tuttle?
So my goal is for Quintez Cephas to score a touchdown.
There you go. 1 touchdown.
One touchdown.
Setting the bar low.
Under promise, over deliver.
There you go.
Goal for me is I'm just going to ride it just because it's nice to have your brand associated with a GAM guy who's just the alpha, scores touchdowns, and this year going to catch
the girly
passes.
ass man.
Derrick Henry as a top 3 running back this year.
You can't make your brand guy a first round guy. That's just against the rules of fantasy football.
I can when there are people on the show that doubt him each and every week in DFS, and then in the offseason doubt him as well.
I have more dollars invested in Derrick Henry's success this year than you do.
No,
Guaranteed.
Absolutely not.
Guaranteed.
Absolutely not.
100%.
There's no way. Davis, you're putting a dollar value on my brand, and you cannot do that.
I'm just telling you that I have more money invested in Derrick Henry than you do.
All right, well, good. We'll be cheering touchdowns together while Pete's in the corner crying.
Just some sleepers like Laviska Shenault, Quintez Cephas, and Derrick Henry for you guys today on the Swolecast.
I didn't say they had to be sleepers. I will say the other goal I have is Tony Pollard to be a top 10 running back this year, because that would be just.
Oh, so really your goal is for Ezekiel Elliott to get hurt?
No, I didn't say that. That's why I said goal is for Zeke. Said he was open to splitting carries, so you never know what could happen there. All right, any other goals that you guys have for favorite players or negative goals for Davis?
I mean, just really as a self goal, I would just like this to be the first football season ever where I don't gain 20 pounds. That's a good personal goal for me.
Davis, we're not there yet. Chill. Jeez.
Are we
DFS goals
now too?
The DFS or show goals. That's what it is.
Yeah, my show goal was to never do this segment again.
Okay, good. We're going to revisit this segment at the end, so it might be something that we want. I will go ahead and say goal for the show is to have just an amazing merch line and ship those out on time.
Well, but it's a good goal to have, buddy.
It's always good to have goals.
Dream big.
I think we need to send Dave did you end up reading Atomic Habits where he talks about how you really actually need systems in place to actually help you achieve goals, and kind of goals without those systems are meaningless?
Have you ever met Griffin? We got systems in place. I'm thinking a dad hat for me. I'm thinking for Davis, like a fanny pack or platform shoes. And then for Tuttle,
what about bandanas?
Okay. Like a mask.
A Swolecast kimono would be just unbelievable.
A kimono for sure.
That would be a big seller.
And then for Pete, like feel like Pete would rock a Swolecast like Hawaiian shirt. Like that would be up his alley.
I would do that.
Okay. We'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
Any other goals for the show, Pete? You're like a aspirational type of fellow. Like what's a strong goal for you for the show?
For this show, my goal is I want to do some of our challenge episodes, Dave. We've talked about these. One of the episodes I want to do is one where Davis can only say 200 words throughout the course of the entire show, and we have a counter up on the
Do I get paid double for that episode?
No,
double. What's double times zero?
Yes.
We're actually going to pay you a fraction. So you normally say probably like 20,000 words on a show. So we'll pay you a 100th of what you normally are paid.
Interesting.
All right. I would say getting the swag dome back wouldn't be another goal for the show. All right. DFS goals. But this time we have DFS or fantasy goals for other people. Pete, you go first.
Okay. So this is for someone else, a goal. I think Davis needs to stop 150 maxing during the NFL season.
How's that a goal? That's the reverse of a goal.
I think he's looking out for your best interest.
So yeah, Davis, I think I'm projecting a little bit. I think your focus is pulled in a lot of directions, and I think it could maybe be, honed in on just single entry 3 max. I'll allow you to do 20 max if you'd like.
You can't get back to even if you stop, dude.
All right, I will say
for Kitchen.
Okay. Go for it.
That Kitchen wins a fourth quarter showdown GPP.
That's a good goal.
Over 100 people.
Attainable.
I almost won the second half showdown on Tuesday nights. It was so close.
It's gotta be fourth quarter though.
Yeah. Well, I played fourth quarter too. That's gonna happen. I've already done it twice, so it'd be like 3-peat. We'll say a goal for me is for one of, even better of both, but either Pete or Tuttle to win the Millie Maker, just so we can have an extra notch on the belt in addition to Davis and me.
Just to have a full sweep of Millie Maker winners?
Yeah, I think a full panel of Millie Maker winners would be, I think that'd be great marketing for the show.
Yeah.
Can we split it with tired 400 other people too?
No. It's just like being able to win. Like, how, there's a DFS edge and they had 2 guys on there, Smiz and Pete. And then there's always like Levitan, right? Like,
I don't think Ramey's never won a Millie Maker. He's just won a live final.
Well, he's won either, right? Smith got second.
Smiz won the Millie Maker.
Smiz definitely won.
Oh yeah, Stefan Diggs.
I think Pete won the first. Didn't Pete win the first Millie?
Pete won the first ever $1 million prize in fantasy sports, but it was a DK MLB live final.
Davis, listen, like a technical here, right? Like,
no, literally, the whole bit is being technical, Kitchen. You're not understanding. It's not about the amount of money. It's the contest that you won. You just owned yourself.
Listen, if they win $1 million or if they win the Millie Maker, it's the same thing. That's what I'm saying, is that it's the same thing. Let's not get technical here. But yeah, that'd be nice.
I have a goal.
Davis, go ahead, Pete.
Oh, I just thought of a goal. My goal for Tuttle is that we have another drunken kimono Vance McDonald EIEIO show where he's throwing back Trulies.
I really love that. Yeah.
That was an all-timer.
Yeah. I would say, Davis, I would say you winning a football GPP would be a good goal to have. Because that's like the only GPP you haven't won, right?
I'd like to win the $12 single entry GPP on DraftKings. I got second in it 2 years in a row, so I would like to get first in it.
That is a great goal, man. That's a great goal. I'm gonna project that on you and say you're gonna win it. You're gonna win a big GPP this year. I can feel it. All right. Any other goals for the cast members?
I'd like for Kitchen to enter every slate he plays in at least an hour in advance. I think that's a really good organizational goal for you, Kitchen. Every slate you play, you have to think about it for at least an hour.
I have to on FanDuel because they fill like a day in advance.
I was just talking about that with someone yesterday of like wanting to impulse play on FanDuel like 30 minutes before a slate. It's like, oh, I can play in the 2-cent satellites and that's it because that's all that's available.
You actually have like the benefit there, whereas Tuttle and I do not, because it's so tilting.
Can't even play in those.
You see the slate, yeah, and you can't even play anything under $3. So, as a DFS is a skill sport. So, as far as life goals, what are some life goals you have for everyone?
Just please don't let me get really fat.
Pete, you want to start?
Davis, is that your goal for yourself?
Yeah.
My goal for myself is to just make this the first football season ever where I don't get fat.
My goal for Davis is to never mention Rick Rhodes' name on this show ever again.
It's a good goal for all of us.
No, my goal is to have Rick Rhodes on this show this season.
No, I literally won't come on.
Then you won't get paid. That's
fine. Rick Rhodes needs $150 a lot more than I do.
Federico Valdez in the chat says, how is Pete Overzet giving NFL advice when he isn't even ranked on the RG NFL ranking?
It's a good goal. That's a good goal to get ranked.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but RotoGrinders actually recently did an update to the algorithm for the rankings. I had been behind the scenes talking with Cal about some issues about why my name wasn't appearing. So they have redone it, and I think you'll be seeing me up there shortly.
Kitchen, our Millie Maker win, though, is not in the rankings.
I know, man. It's there's some things that
why, though?
The showdown not up there.
We can talk about that after the show, but I don't want to downgrade our Millie Maker win that we shared together.
But it's not in our rankings though, because I went to go see how many points it was the other day, and it's just not there.
That's why though. You can't give someone the same amount of points. Just like
look, I deserve the same amount of points as a Millie Maker winner, and I think that's obvious.
You want the badge?
Just divide however many points you get for winning a Millie. Divide it by 380 or however many people.
The reason we can't do this is it opens a Pandora's box. Next thing, Pete Jennings is going to want a Millie Maker winner thing next to his name, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
Look, I want the Millie badge. All right.
All right. I will say a goal for me is for this show to not get canceled. That's like a goal.
That's a good goal, Kitchen.
It's a good goal, bud. It's a good goal.
Yeah. And also for Pete to go viral and for me to ride his coattails and go to an NFL game with him at some point.
That is a great goal. Just the idea of thinking of us getting to hang out again together in person and go do something, that's a goal.
That's actually a great goal for all of us.
Good goal.
There you go. All right. Dan, any goals that you have for any of us?
I have a personal goal for myself.
Let's hear it.
Okay,
it's
sure.
Kind of serious, but
share it.
I want to get down to 175.
Okay.
I'm at about 190 to 195 right now. I'd like to get down to 175.
All right, Kitchen. Tuttle. Let's do it. Let's keep each other accountable.
Right.
No, I mean I went in on this as well. Obviously, you guys kind of see my workout videos and stuff, work ethic, but I went in on it as well. I want Derrick Henry and I to both be about the same. Like whenever I meet him, us be about the same weight muscle ratio that we have.
Okay, I want to have another goal. I want Pete and I to make another NFL friend, and I want it to be Laviska Shenault.
I just said.
Well, Kitchen, that's not going to happen. Derrick Henry's never going to hang out with you.
And then ride his coattails. But yeah, I mean, it might not be Derrick Henry, but I'm going to hang out with some NFL player this year.
You know, we'd have a better shot on
Jeff Fisher,
Darrington Evans. No.
How about? I'm
gonna go with Gostkowski.
What's his name? David Fluellen.
I'm gonna go with Gostkowski. He just moved in the area, and Titans signed him as their kicker today. So,
Evan's giving us.
Let's wrap it up. All right, so we want to just say thank you for everyone that stuck around throughout the offseason. You want to go make sure you're signed up for the Swolecast, our YouTube channel, because we got some cool stuff coming out, and also the iTunes channel. So you have to subscribe because we got some cool stuff coming up. Don't know what it is, but it's coming up. So on behalf of Davis, Peter, and Dan, I'm David. Thanks to Devin. We'll see y'all next time when we're talking about like DFS Swolecast stuff. Later.